Alright, and we have returned for the second episode of Tier C, and it's the Italian run this time. Mugello, and then Monza, Monza, and Monza. And we're currently in the middle of Kanashimi with a 3-for-4 record in the championship. It'd be pretty it would be pretty grim, like a pretty grim outlook if Kanashimi didn't completely miss the points at Imola. Oh, no, it was Black Cat, not Imola. Yeah, so let's just get into Mugello, as they used to call it when I was a little kid, when I was playing like Forza 2. We're on the starting grid for Mugello, and it just doesn't stop, does it? Because there's no way that Kanashimi isn't going to get around that GT40 within like the first lap and a half. Hansen is nearby-ish. DeFrisco is not in a workable position to at least mitigate damage, but he's still not going to be winning the race from there if he has to get around Hansen and Kanashimi to do so. But he should get at least 3rd or 4th. And admittedly, there's nobody else really in range right now, so until somebody other than Kanashimi wins the race, there's nobody else worth focusing on. Oh, yeah, it wasn't even going to take anywhere near a lap and a half. It literally took like 20 feet. O'Reilly absolutely botched the start, and Fukai is out of here. They are 3 wide into T1. O'Reilly kind of squeezing Hansen onto the inside curb, and they're both out of shape completely. Two ahead are still fighting. Thrasher has just kind of a spectator to this. Probably the best place to be is not a part of that, to be fair. I think Wolf and Kawashiro were too wide for a second there, but high-speed corner means that it got settled pretty quickly. Whoever was ahead of who, I don't know, originally. Well, even if Kanashimi does win the race, at least this time we know she won't be winning it by like 20 seconds, because Hansen is the car in 2nd place, and he's in the same car, so he won't be losing her by nearly as much. No, I don't believe that the Gallardo is unbalanced in this category, and the reason why is because the only reason this keeps happening, there's more of them, so there's a higher chance that a Gallardo is going to be the one in like the top 4 starting spots, or more than one in some cases. It just so happens that Kanashimi has started in the top 3 or 4 in pretty much every race, except for Black Cat County, and the one time she didn't start at the front, she never got to the front. Speaking of the front, Dom DeFrisco is also on his way there, with a bit of a... well, he was on his way there until he did that. Also behind him, Schwartz and Vittori fighting for P6. The back half of the field doesn't really seem to have much going on, like, at all. like a, I wasn't gonna say emergency, but if I am to stop coughing, I had to get that junk out of my system. It clearly hasn't worked nearly as well as I thought it would, but it's something. I mean, I'll probably never actually stop coughing, that's just not how this works, but Frisco is really being barricaded by these twin GT40s here. He's gonna have a definite straight line advantage. He just has to pick a lane and stay there. Gonna get ahead of Thrasher. Does he send it on O'Reilly? Yes. O'Reilly gives a wide berth going into T1, and DeFrisco is finally clear of the GT40s, I think. O'Reilly fought back very briefly, but I think that was inevitable. Middle of the field is also kind of a bit of a mess. You had Shem and Takane too wide for a second, but that fizzled out pretty fast. Takane is not having the greatest event here. She's currently fighting for 12th, despite starting in 8th. And, yeah, she's lost the fight, so she's down to 13th. Down 5 places in basically 2 laps. 2.5, I guess. As we will see if we look at Ryan Wolf's perspective, the GT40s have created something of a train now. They're keeping Schwartz, Kawashiro, and Wolf all at bay by just kinda existing, more or less. Hattori will have no problem dispatching them down the main straightaway here, as she's just done with Schwartz through the S's of all places. Wolf and Schwartz, though, will probably have a bit of a more difficult time getting around them because they don't have the straight line speed that the Gallardo does. Hattori will be ahead of Thrasher at the line, basically. However, I don't think she'll get a chance to send it on O'Reilly here. Meanwhile, Schwartz and Wolf will go too wide into 1. Thrasher is an obstruction, which means that Ryan Wolf will probably get away with making that pass. He might even get a 2 for 1, since Thrasher seems to have gotten a poor exit out of T1. I think he went wide on the exit, and that means that Ryan Wolf will probably be taking that position away as well. If Hattori can get around O'Reilly here, it would make a top 4 lockout for the Gallardos, which, considering Hattori started in 10th, maybe now is when it starts to look a little bit iffy on this car even being here, but I don't know. I think if it happened, like, again before the end of the championship, like a top 4 lockout of Gallardos, maybe then we'd have to bring their balance into question. You know, there are definitely anomalies like this in other circumstances. But if it keeps happening, then it's not an anomaly by definition, and therefore, you know, it's a problem. And Hattori just straight up jumps Thomas O'Reilly and manages to maybe keep 4th from it. No, because Thrasher shows up to pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, while that gets settled out and Thomas and Nitori exchange words in the pit area, Kanashimi takes a 4th win in 5 races. Wayne Hansen second. Duprisco rounds out the Gallardo podium. Does Nitori take 4th away before the start line? No. Thrasher was blocking NASCAR style, and that'll allow him to keep his 4th place. Eric stole the 10th place points at the very last second, and O'Reilly ends up getting slapped with a DNF, courtesy of Nitori's aggressive braking. So yeah, now it is more than a race wins points out of reach to Duprisco, and it's not even close for anybody else. Nitori and Schwartz are 15 points off Duprisco, so... And that's not going to get any better because... Well, we've got Monza 3 times in a row, which means that there's going to be a Gallardo winning 3 races in a row. Whatever Gallardo that might be, I'm not sure, but either way, I'd be surprised if any Gallardo managed to find a way to not score in any of the next 3 races. Unless there's like a driver error that takes one of them out of the race. One or more, anyway. So let's head into Monza 66, the full course, which utilizes this road course, but also uses the oval. So this probably could have been 3 laps in hindsight, but we'll roll with it because I don't have a choice. We're on the starting grid for the Monza 66 full circuit, and oh my god, it doesn't stop, does it? It just does not stop. This is going to be a battle for 5th, ladies and gentlemen, I think. Unless Duprisco or Nitori make a critical error, it's going to be a battle for 5th. This has been a bit of a mistake, I will not lie. It doesn't help that Kanashimi has started on pole in like 4 races now. Only exacerbates it. Kanashimi gets an ever so slightly better launch, but she needs to be 100% clear before we reach the first corner, or things could get hairy. And I think things will be getting hairy. Yeah, she felt her grip sliding away and decided it would just be best if she didn't force that. 2nd place is a heck of a lot more points than 15th. You know what I mean? Everyone has apparently survived the first corner of the race, barely. Cam is definitely the big loser here, going from 7th to 12th in 2 or 3 corners. Duprisco also did not get the start that I'm sure he was looking for if he's down in 8th. Sham had a run on Sotokov and he went with that. And Tyler has a bit of a top speed kick here. He's actually just out-dragged the Gallardo. I'm not sure where this... I don't know, the 570 had top speed like that. There might be a chance for something else here. If Ryan Wolf and McIntosh can get to the front. I like how Wolf here is pretty much like holding the door open for Tyler to just kind of squeeze through these two. Yeah, I did not know the 570S had top speed like this, so we've actually got something interesting going here. Wait, Schwartz is up here? Oh yeah, Schwartz is, I suppose he's probably got better traction. At these top speeds level, the spoiler there's doing wonders. He might actually be untouchable here. Oh my god, he's doing 200 miles an hour. Alright, so I totally misread this. Holy crap, the RT12 is crazy here. The RT12 is cracking over 200 miles an hour. I don't know if the 570S is doing that. I'd be kind of surprised. It's a definite maybe. I'm gonna look at the end of the straightaway here. "206 miles an hour at the braking point. 197. I didn't see what meter it was running. Behind this, though, is a bit of chaos. Duprisco with front end damage has just gotten ahead of Sotokov for P8. So now it's basically been divided by this point. We have our top 8 cars, the 570s, the Gallardos, and the RT12s, and then we have Ivan leading that group. Or the group which is not those cars, more or less, in the SLS. I want to believe that the 458 is better top speed than those two, but I'm not really positive on that. And Schwartz has a comfortable lead at the moment. Sham is behind him, but he's also, you know, in the same car as him, so... Hey, there's me. So I don't think the McLarens will have anything for the RT12s, but they will be able to catch up to the Gallardos up ahead. Ryan Wolf is just about already there at Kaneshimi's doorstep. I'm doing like an extra 4 or 5 miles an hour on the oval corners, so... Plus there's slipstream in play. Pulls to the right, and there you go. Papa's got a brand new pair of shoes. Tyler shouldn't be far behind on this either. So now it is Yotsuba that's leading the, I guess I would say best of the rest, running in P9. The Audi R8 clearly does not have competitive horsepower figures. I'm now seeing this. I'm sure Kim has also seen this and is probably not super happy about it. Wolf has closed in on Hansen. If he doesn't pass him here, he'll probably pass him on the oval. And it's looking like he'll pass him here pretty easily. Tyler still hasn't caught up to Kaneshimi yet. Kind of surprised with me, to be honest. It's a good idea of what this looks like from inside their car. Oh man, that's probably not the ideal back massage for these drivers going over all these damn bumps. Man. It takes a very steady wheel. Oh man. Suddenly I'm glad I'm not a part of this. Sham is definitely getting closer, however, I don't think it's really going to be enough. Were this a 5-lap race, I would say it's a definite maybe. He would get, like, slipstream off of him in the last lap, but, like, I don't think that Sham's going to get there. He seems to be better attuned, though, to these actual corners. That's where he seems to be making his ground up, because, well, that's pretty much the only place you can do it. If you're driving the same car as your opponent, you're not really going to gain much on him in a straightaway. And since that's what, like, 3/4 of this racetrack is, it's pretty hard to do that. Not ideal, I would have to say on that line. As we head up to the oval for the last time in the race. I think following that mishap, I don't think McIntosh is going to be catching Hansen by the end of the race. If he does, it'll be very close, and it'll probably be right on the exit of the oval. But it's going to be Dedrick Schwartz finally dethroning the Lamborghinis for a race and taking a win at the first of 3 Monza races. And McIntosh is going to shoot on the outside of Hansen, and that's not much of an issue for him. So it's going to be a very Noah's Archean result screen here. Eric got Sodakov with not very long left in the race, clearly. Now it is an 18-point lead, because DePrisco was nowhere near. However, we have now learned that the RT12s are the dominant force at the Monza-esque tracks, so it's possible that Schwartz and Sham can claw their way back into this if they both have, they have good runs at the next 2 tracks. Really, that could be applied to any track from here on. They've all got some straight line elements. You got some good straightaways at Red Bull Ring, and if you're confident under braking, you can make up a lot of places there. If you have to. Spa, you've kind of got that you kind of got like that second straightaway out of Eau Rouge, the corner that's pictured there. Silverstone 67's also pretty much exclusively straightaways. And then the GP, which is also a lot of straightaways. Although that's probably the least straight line reliant track on the schedule remaining, so because you've only got like 2, Wellington and Hangar. But now on to current day Monza, which might be a little more evenly matched affair. I'm not sure though. Alright, we were at the starting grid for current day Monza, and finally they've made Fukai work for it. And the other 3 Gallardos are certainly in striking distance, and they're flanked by the 2 RT12s, so this race might be the race that finally collapses that championship lead just a little bit. Who knows? Maybe things will actually get interesting. Maybe Kaneshima will stop getting pole positions. And Duprisco gets off the line better than the RT-12 to his left did. It's also going to be a contest for the lead going into one between Eric and Ivan. And never mind that. And, no, actually, Ivan really outbroke Eric, so it might actually be a contest. And Ivan will retain the lead going through one. Sebastian was alongside Dominic going into Curva Grande, but decided to just not. Got a bit of an accordion effect going there. Okay, he has gotten around Tyler off the start. Or no, Hyde. Tyler was already down there. And in fact, actually, Tyler also got around Hyde, so that really speaks to how bad his race start was. Wojciechowski's going to pull to the left and try into Ascari. Braking maneuver. Ivan is really just kind of holding his nerve, though. And that has allowed Duprisco to take full advantage, except Eric is forcing him off the track. It still may not matter. And that's Sham going almost 3, but Duprisco kind of backed out of it. Kind of, you know, having some sort of, like, self-preservation. And Sham is going to pick up a 2-for-1 deal through Parabolica. That was a display of nerve right there. And now with the superior top speed, Sham should have very little issues taking away the lead going into T1. Man, the gaps are all out of whack. Yeah, there's a Hansen trying to keep Schwartz behind him, and I think he will because he's on the bottom of Curva Grande. Why'd I do that? Kanoshimi is about to work her way into the points. This is definitely a damage mitigation race for her here. These GT40s are very hard to pass. I couldn't really explain to you why or how they're being so difficult to pass in this championship, but man, they are an obstacle. It's suffice to say. Duprisco is still stuck behind these two. And Sham is already well off into the distance. Eric was going to try the same thing again and expect a different result. Apparently no one's told Eric the definition of insanity. Yeah, you're going to end up with the same result there, Eric. Except this time Dom might get around you. No, because they're going to force him off the track again. Now Kawashiro has clawed her way into the mix. I'm sure Duprisco's probably had about enough of Eric's nonsense at this point. Second lap in a row, he's finally to his inside. There's no outside runoff to keep him away from this one. He's finally into third place. Schwartz took advantage of Vittori being held up by this nonsense. He's back into P5. Eric goes defensive, I think that was. Schwartz cares not. He's gonna pass 1, 2, maybe 3, probably not, but possibly 3 cars into turn 1. Nope, Dominic saw through that and got ready for a good corner exit. He has a faint shot at taking second away here, but I don't know about that. Now he's just gonna throw it right in there. Call it FedEx because he's shipping it, and it didn't get him anywhere. You better have a big breakfast if you're gonna go around the left side of that chicane. Kanashimi, even with a dented bumper, is running P8, and McIntosh has sort of just been following her through the field. For the most part, anyway. Schwartz has since overtaken the 458. His next challenge will be DePrisco, who himself is going to send it again on Ivan. I feel like you should have learned from seeing what you've seen. So this speaks to the kind of race that Nitori Kawashiro is having. As she brakes for T1, she kind of gets accordioned and sent off to the left at turn 1. And if we skip ahead like 20 or so seconds, she misjudges her braking point again, and clobbers Thrasher and takes herself out of the race. Thrasher, meanwhile, continued the race, but, you know, he's not really near anybody anymore, thanks to her getting like a tire in the grass. I don't really know. Those are both kinda her fault. She certainly didn't make any effort to avoid it happening, which she could very easily have done. So, yeah, just kinda... not the greatest driving I've seen from her. Sodakov's top speed, no match for these upper echelon of the 570, RT12 or Gallardo. Speaking of which, Schwartz just ships it in there under Prisco, possibly an ambush tactic type of thing, because there was no way that overtake was actually going to be made there. However, that attempt has only left him in the clutches of Ryan Wolf's 570 as we go towards the next chicane. Never mind. What are you doing, Ryan? Did you not have your morning coffee there, Ryan? And Tyler has since gotten ahead of Kanashimi. Brakes very conservatively. I think we heard some contact back here. Yeah, Thomas just got right into Fukai going through the second chicane. I think that's another kind of accordion effect type thing, possibly. Now he's locking up. Okay, maybe that's not what happened. Hansen has learned. He looked on the right of Sodakov, but he didn't have nearly the run he thought he did, so he's not going to accomplish much from there. Will be accomplished, however, as Eric sending it in on him through Ascari. And Hansen does not take any of that. McIntosh may be able to take advantage. Actually, yeah, he will definitely be able to take advantage. And Sham will be able to take advantage of running a very fast race, and he'll win at Monza. Quite dominantly, in fact. Dom DePrisco is several seconds behind. 13.5 second victory, basically. Schwartz will complete the podium. And O'Reilly is going to get the final point. Kanashimi only scoring 9th place here means that suddenly her championship lead has simply vanished. Well, not completely. It is still 8 points, but it's certainly a lot closer than it was going into that race, since now Schwartz and Sham are within range to take the points away from her if she has another bad race. And now we head back to Old Monza. We've clearly got a time machine or something, as now we're just doing the road course. So it's the same thing as we did before, except this time we do not have the oval. We are at the starting grid for the Monza road course. And, yeah, clearly the gods have chosen on this day. Sham starts on pole. Schwartz and Dom make up the 4th row, and Kanashimi is down in 13th. Mind you, I have no doubt she'll be able to score something out of this race. But if she's not careful, she might lose the points lead from this one. I say if she's not careful, and actually being careful might be the reason she loses it. She has to be a bit pushy here to make her way back into points. However, Nitori got a way better start. And trust me, I think she probably needs it. She probably needs a bit of redemption after her last event, where she managed to wreck herself twice in 2 corners. So any sort of way that she can save face in this race will probably be a necessity. Speaking of which, Sham, that's maybe not the best way to do that. That's a pretty solid start for Eric. He started last, and he might already find his way into points if he can make this one stick on Cam. Bit of a curb hop, but he has. So he's up into points after starting literally dead last. Speaking of up into points, that's where Kaneshimi is. She's already ahead of Wayne Hansen, in fact. She's already passed one of the other Lamborghinis. Sodokov decides he's going to cut the lawn a little bit, so I think it'll be 7th in a minute. Yep. And Tyler is within the area of these top 2. Schwartz is, I think, defending from DeFrisco. Yeah, no, I don't know. Either way, he's ahead of him. Whatever the case might have been, whoever was ahead going into that corner. Whoa, that was weird. O'Reilly is absolutely helpless on these straightaways. The GT40 is not a slouch in the straightaway, but unfortunately he's dealing with cars that can hit 200 miles an hour. Sham is back into striking distance on Kawashiro. Or Car Wash Hero. Good one, Thomas. Well, no suspension damage, I guess. If there's any silver lining to that mistake, he didn't totally wreck himself. Just only mostly. And here comes Hansen. Well, now the silver lining is can't get any worse, right? Well, the Lamborghinis are ahead of him. The last car that will pass him, almost certainly, I think, would be Ryan Wolf, who's taking his sweet time getting up there. Meanwhile, there's a battle for the lead, and I just totally missed it. It's going to be a drag race into turn 1, but I think the RT12 is going to probably win it. He was on the inside through the last corner, and he also got a good exit. So, yeah, off into the sunset. This very foggy sunset. Sham will drive. I believe Schwartz is... he's definitely catching up to Tyler at a rapid pace. Kaneshimi is definitely working well-ish to mitigate damage. If she started 13th and she's already into 6th after just 2 completed laps. No real threat of going down, but also not much chance of going up from here. Unless Dom really made an error. Or if maybe one of these battles at the front turns into a problem. Nitori is still kind of within range, certainly within visual range of Sham, but I don't really think it's going to turn into anything. I think Tyler and Dedrick are about even on straightaways, but I do believe that the corners are where Schwartz will be kicking Tyler's teeth in. He also seems considerably more aggressive under braking. At least that's what it looks like. And I mean, well, the evidence is right there. He just closed in like a half a second in the braking zone. Terrible corner exit, though. Wolf is finally into the points. If he is to be in the top 8 where he belongs, he still has to get around Eric. He has 2 laps to pull this off, though. But Eric is kind of hauling, not gonna lie. He's not running laps super far off of what the Lamborghinis are doing, and the 458 is not really nearly as good as the Lamborghinis are. I mean, if he's running faster than Wayne, that's one thing, because, you know, he's right behind Fukai, but he's also running faster than Nitori, almost. So he's not running faster, but he's running 7/10 off per lap. Basically what I'm saying is Wolf has his work cut out for him if he's going to get into the top 8. At some point, Schwartz got ahead of Tyler. I'm not really sure when this happened. I kind of feel dumb for completely missing it somehow. Ryan is faster than Eric. Should go without saying. It's just that I don't think he's faster enough. He's only got 1 more lap to go. Unless he miraculously gets there right at the last corner, I don't think he's actually going to be able to take it away from Eric. Hansen is right there at Kaneshimi's taillights. Though they're in the same car, so I also don't think that anything will come from that. O'Reilly, despite a very battered front bumper, is I think comfortably in position to take the last points position. Schwartz snipping at Nitori's heels, but a bit too late. And on the main straightaway, here comes Sham to win a 2nd consecutive race. Now at Old Monza. So he went 2nd, 1st, and 1st at Monza. I'm sure he's probably liking this track right about now. Kaneshimi takes P6, and once again, Thomas O'Reilly is going to take the final points position. And also, once again, Cam is going to be miserably behind. That'll wrap it up for episode 2 of Tier C. The championship has finally closed back in, as it's a battle between the 2 RT12s, DePrisco and Kaneshimi. Schwartz trying to deny a 3rd consecutive rookie champion here, as he's the only one in the mix that, you know, isn't a rookie. Nobody else is really in the mix. And I don't think anybody else would be in the mix outside of really incredible circumstances, or like 3 consecutive wins for like Tyler or Ryan Wolf. But I don't find that super likely.